What a tale my thoughts could tell, just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well, in a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains across my feet. You know that ghost is me, and I will never be set free as long as I'm the ghost that you can't see. Hey, Drew James here from LearnGuitarInLondon.com, and I'm playing the classic If You Could Read My Mind by Gordon Lightfoot. I adore the picking pattern in this song. It is so lovely to play. Even if you're not going to sing, just learning the guitar line to this is absolutely wonderful. And then if you've been playing that bit longer and singing that bit longer, it's a really good one to sing and play as well. Get your capo, stick it on fret 2, and don't forget to get the tab to this at LearnGuitarInLondon.com. It's completely for free. Just need to join the student area. Just takes a name and email address. There's a link in the video right now and a link in the video description. Let's start learning it. So with capo on fret 2, if I say to you fret 1 in the lesson, it's going to presume it's here. Fret 2, fret 3, fret 4. Okay, so this is like 0 where the capo is, just in case there's any confusion. Just going to take you through the strings. EADGBE, Eddie 8 Dynamite, Goodbye Eddie. I don't like calling these strings by the numbers because I find that confusing with numbers here and numbers on frets. And fingers, index, middle, ring and pinky. And this is fingerstyle. So as it's fingerstyle, I like to assign my fingers on my right hand to certain strings. So the thumb, I base this on the classical system, so if you know that, you're good to go. I place my thumb on the top 3 strings. So if ever it's thumb, it's playing the E, A or D string. The index finger plays the G string, middle finger plays the B, and ring finger plays the E, okay? So thumb, 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 index, middle, ring. Now we've got all the terminology sorted out and the fingers, let's get started on that initial lovely riff. Okay, so we're going to be taking fret 3 on the thickest string. Use your ring finger to fret that out. Well, actually, thinking about it, you could use your middle, but use your ring, because we're going to be changing from G to C a little bit, and that makes it a bit easier to move that down. Anyway, ring finger on fret 3 on the thickest string. And you're going to be doing a picking pattern of thumb on the bass, the thickest string, the one you're fretting, index on the open G, middle on the open B. Then skip your thumb down to the D string, play that open, index, open G and middle. So you've got thumb on thickest, index, middle, thumb on D, index, middle. Okay. Next, you're going to play the open D, and you're going to put your middle finger down on fret 2 on the 2nd fret on the G string. So we've just played the open D string, and then we're going to play that 2 with the index finger. So you can see now why I said, well, if you maybe use the middle finger, and if you find that easier with your index finger to do that, then by all means do. But I prefer this, okay? But use whichever works for you. So we've got that so far. That's your bar 1, first bar on the tab there. Hopefully you got that from Learn Guitar in London. Next, we've got a different picking pattern. So this is a 2-bar picking pattern, so that means that it's not always going to be the same. And the picking patterns do change in this song quite a lot, which makes it really fun to learn. We're then going to play for the 2nd bar, thickest string, with that 3 that we're holding down, and we're leaving that 2 held down on the D string. Thumb, middle, index, thumb. Thumb, middle on the open B, index on the 2, thumb on the D. And then carrying on, middle again on the open B, index on the G, thumb on the D. So you've got, And to finish, we're going to lift up the finger on this hand, holding down the G string, and play it as a 0. So we've got that held down at the beginning of this second bar. Okay, and that is the first 2 bars of the song. So just sometimes with the middle, sometimes without, but you do need to concentrate on the picking pattern. There's 2 bars round in a circle, and that is basically, you do that 3 times. Twice with no singing and once with singing. Then the singing starts. If you could read my mind, love. Okay, now when it gets into the singing, the riff is just slightly altered, okay? So the riff being the first 2 bars that we've done, it's just slightly different. So I know I said it's 3 times, but it's an easy mistake to make because there's a tiny little change where you hold down the 3, you do the same picking pattern as normal. So nothing new to learn on this hand, which is great, but you just don't press down that 2 at the end of bar 5. If it was the normal riff, it would have been with that note in, okay? But you don't when the singing starts. Then you put the 2 down and you do the slightly different picking pattern to before. So this is bar 6. We're going thumb, index, middle, thumb on D, index, middle, thumb on D, index. Here it's just slightly different, but it's still the same fretting. The fretting isn't actually that difficult. It's either this or with this one down, but it's just getting that picking pattern right. So the first 2 bars, I'm just going to do this as comparison to help you with learning it. Thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, index with the 2, thumb, middle, index, thumb, middle, index, thumb, then lift it up. And then when the singing starts, thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, then put the middle finger down on the fretting hand, and it's thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, index. It's a slightly different picking pattern that time round, okay? Good, so we're now moving on to bar 7, and for this we're going to leave that 2 where it is, on the 2nd fret on the G string, and we're going to bring our thumb over to fret 1 on the thickest string. Now this is a way of doing it. It's called the Hendrix grip because Hendrix sort of apparently pioneered using the thumb over like this for playing bass notes. The other thing that you could do is you could use your index finger if you wanted to, like this, like if you're going to do a bar chord F, okay? But the important thing is whatever you use, make sure you're only holding down fret 1 and fret 2 and everything else is ringing, okay? So whichever one you use, I'm going to use my thumb because I prefer that. We're going to go, the picking pattern for this is thumb, middle, index, thumb, middle, index, thumb, index. Okay? So I'll do that one more time. Thumb, middle, index, thumb on the D, middle, index, thumb, index. Okay? And then you do that a second time into bar 8. But this time you're just going to lift up that 2 to get that G note in. Okay, so first time round with this chord, and then just lifting it up. But it's the same picking pattern twice, okay? So now I'm going to put together the second line in the tab with just a little bit of vocal just to help guide you a touch, and we'll go nice and slow. If you could read my mind, love, what a story my thoughts could tell. Okay, you hear that little movement from that to that, which is happening throughout the song. Good thing is that the next line and bars 9 to 12 are the same as the second line. So it's the G again. Just like an old time movie. Da 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 da. Okay, good. So that gets you the first few lines of lyrics. If you could read my mind, what a tale my thoughts could tell, just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well. Now, in a castle dark, we're still going back to this 3rd fret on the thickest string. And we're doing that same picking pattern of thumb, index, middle, thumb on D, index, middle. So we've got that. And then we're going to hold down fret 2 on the D string, so that I'm using my middle finger to do that, as you can see. And then I'm going to play that note, because it's the thumb that would play that on the D string, and then open G. So we've got... So this just is introducing the next bit. In a castle. So it's on castle. And then when you get to the word dark, we're going to fret out the 3rd fret on the D string. And we're going to leave that there. And we're going to play thumb on the D, the one we're playing, index, middle. Then again, thumb, index, middle. Then we're going to let go of that note and just play 2 open strings of the D and the G. I'll do that again. In a castle dark. Okay, good. Now we're going to move to a C chord from here. So fret 3 on the A string, fret 2 on the D string, and fret 1 on the B string, holding down that C chord. And we're going to change the picking pattern again. He really keeps us on our toes on this one. So it's thumb on the A string, index, middle, ring, middle, index, thumb on D, index. I'll do it slowly. So it gets brighter, basically. There's a bit of suspense with this 3-bit. Or a castle strong. That dum 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 na 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 na. So it sounds really pretty. We're then from this chord moving to a D chord. Now with this D, I don't bother with the middle finger, mainly because, well, we don't play it, we don't need it in the song. But if you want to do the full D and you've got good muscle memory and you can make a D quick, then make it with the middle finger, but you just don't ever play it. But you might see me just lifting up this finger to make a D suspended second. Thumb on D, index on G, middle. And you do that again. And then you finish off with just thumb, index. So I'll do that again. So it's thumb on D, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, index. Okay, so that's a lot of new stuff there. That's the beginning of the first line on the second page of the tab, 13 to 16. I'm just going to play it, and maybe you could go back to it or play it along with me, because there is just a couple of changes that are happening here. So here we go, 13. Strong with chains across mine. And on the word feet, we're going to be moving to an E minor, fret 2 on the A and fret 2 on the D. And the picking pattern for this is thumb on the thickest string, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb on D, index, middle, and then lifting up the E minor completely and doing the D string and the G string. So that's okay. Into bar 18, we're back to our C chord again, different picking pattern. Thumb on A, index on G, middle on B. Then move the thumb down to the D, index on G, middle. Then thumb on D and index on G. So that picking pattern is. Back to the E minor. Okay. Then moving into bar 19, we're coming back to our G. We just need the 3rd fret on the thickest string for this, and the picking pattern is exactly the same as what we had in bar 1, and we've done it a few times now. So that's thumb, index, middle, thumb on D, index, middle, thumb, D, index. Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit and go from the beginning of that 2nd page, just with a little bit of vocal, just to sort of tie it all together. Castle dark, or a fortress strong, with chains across my E minor, you see that ghost is G, and I... Now we're into that bit where it lifts, you know, it's really awesome, isn't it, the way it just lifts into there. So now we're going to go back to our C chord, and we're going to be playing the A string with the thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb on D, index, middle, thumb on D, index. I think we've had that before. Yes, we have. We had that in bar 18, the bar just before, so it's the same picking pattern. Thanks, Gordon. Thanks for that one, keeping it simple. So we're going back to the C, and I will never... And on the next chord, we're going to be doing a G over B. So from this C chord, just move the middle finger up to the A string on the 2nd fret. And then I like to use my pinky finger on fret 3 on the B string. You could use this, or you could change to that. But the thing about that is going from that to that is quite a lot of movement, whereas going from this to this is much better on the finger economy. So in this G over B chord, we're doing the same picking pattern as we were doing for the C chord. So thumb on the A string, index, middle, thumb on D, index, middle, thumb, index. Okay, so from the bar before the C, I'll never be set free as... Now we're going to leave that 3rd fret down there on the thinnest string. We're going to play an open A string, index on G, middle to play that B, and then finding fret 2. So we're moving down to the D string. We were on the A string, we're now on the D, playing that note with the thumb, index on the G, middle, and then thumb, index. So it's exactly the same picking pattern as we had for the C chord. As long as then we're going to change to a D. You can leave the pinky there if you like, or you can flip it to the D chord. And we're doing the same picking pattern that we had for the D in bar 16. Thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, index. Ghosts that you can't see. And then we're on the word C, we're back to the initial riff that we played in the first 2 bars. We do that twice before there's some more vocal that comes in and he does another verse. So I'm just going to recap slightly. I'm going to start on the E minor on page 2, 2nd line, and just to help tie that together, I'll do it nice and slowly. And then there's only one other lick that we need to learn, and we've pretty much got the whole song. There's a little bit in the outro, but just a tiny bit more to learn, and then we're done. That's it. That is the song. So from the E minor on line 2, you know ghost is G, and C will never G over B, as long as you're the D that you can't G. Into the riff. Okay, so like I mentioned, it goes round in a circle at that point. It moves round, but what happens sometimes is there's this little instrumental section that I think it's really important to include in your playing, and it's actually done on strings on the original, and it goes da, 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 da. But we can do that on guitar as a solo singer-songwriter effort, and that happens at the end of the riff whenever he finishes da, 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 and you do the riff, and it does this. It sounds awesome. Okay, so what am I doing there? So I'm playing the riff just like the beginning of the song, so I don't need to reteach you that. I'm then bringing my thumb over to fret 1 on the thickest string and middle finger on fret 2, like we had with the second chord in the song. Once again, you could do it like this, but I really recommend doing it like this, mainly because then you can do the riff a little bit easier. So we're going to go thumb on the thickest, index on the G, hold down fret 1 on the B string, and pinch the bottom 2 strings to get that 1 and 0 3 times. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to play the bottom thin strings open 4 times. So we've got, sorry, one more time. Okay, so that's so far what we have. And then we've got 2nd fret on the G string, which we're holding down anyway from the song. And we're going to play that 4 times, but the pinch is on the G and the B string. So 4 times there. Then let go from that G string and play those 2 strings, the G and the B string, open. Then put it back, play it once, and then finish by playing the D and G string, the middle strings, open. Slowly. But it makes a bit more sense faster. And then back into the riff. So I just absolutely adore that part, so please make sure you add that in. You've got the tab for it, so you can read that off. On my tab, that's bars 47 and 48. That is everything you need to know. There is a small outro in the song, which is all the way up there on bars 111, 112, and 113. And it's this. Okay, and what I'm doing here is I'm once again thumb over for this 1st fret on the thickest string. I'm then finding fret 3 with my ring finger on the D string. I'm playing that thickest string, then I'm playing the D string, and then I'm pinching it 1, 2, 3, the middle strings. And then written in the music is a flick off, so we're keeping the 2nd fret on the D string held down as well. So when you do this flick off, you're going to flick to fret 2. That's one way of doing it, or you can just play it with your thumb. It sounds equally as good. And then once you're there, you're going to stay on that 2, play that 3 times with the pinching, then play the open D string. So we've got then the open D and G string 3 times, then 3rd fret on the A string, open on the D and G as a pinch. Okay, so let's put that all together really slow. Sorry. And the ending is 3rd fret on the A string, 2nd fret twice, open on the A string, then play the open again, and hammer on the 2. And all together with that ending, last 3 bars. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. That 3rd fret's optional. It's in the key of G, so it sounds nice to finish on that. I think he's leaving it deliberately unresolved, which sounds really, really nice. Keep on playing. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you again soon for another lesson.